Heyo, welcome to episode 3, I think? Possibly, potentially, I don't know at this point. But yeah, of Alan Wake 2, the final draft, nightmare mode, yada yada yada, words that describe what you probably already likely know.
Hey, how's it going?
That's going great, thanks for asking.
Coffee have you had today, Charlie? Don't know, don't care. How much have you had? Not enough. That's how much. Never enough coffee. Oh, that rich, bittersweet nectar. Get it at Coffee World. Get it where you can. Get it now. Jesus,
Whoa, hey.
Charlie.
Yeah, man, you're on something, and maybe it's just coffee, but still,
And
jeez
it's
Louise.
squeezing these suits, isn't it? Charlene, are you as comfortable as I am?
You don't think the amount of hot, caffeinated beverages you've downed has anything to do with it?
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm in hell. Bass City.
Change of topic, please.
Oh man, these two are pretty great. I like Charlie and Charlene. They're cousins, ain't they? I don't know, at least I presume so.
Come to Coffee World. The thrills never end and the coffee never stops pouring.
Now it's 10% off all your coffee-themed purchases from the gift shop. Get your thermoses ready for winter. I could use a thermos right now. Drank too much.
You and me both, brother.
Oh wait, are you siblings? Siblings. 81st Deerfest. Wow. That's pretty nuts.
Not to toot my own horn, but I am pretty darn sure my, our float will be the belle of the ball at this year's Deerfest. Just a few more days.
It's a nice looking float for sure. This is my first Deerfest, so I don't know what to expect, really.
It is the finest entertainment a town like ours has to offer. The happiest day of the year. Like Christmas, but better.
Well, I certainly hope so. I hate the holidays.
Wow. Alright. Look at these deer though. Pretty cute. Red, blue, and
Plans for
white.
the day after the festival? It's known as the staying in and eating your body weight in pancakes day around here. You need to recover after all that celebrating.
Well, I've got plans now by the sound of it. I'll head straight to the Old Deer when I wake up.
Oh,
Hell
you
yeah.
won't be the only one.
Dude, I love pancakes. Pancakes are the best, man. Truly something great. Howdy, fellas. Sorry, I'm just trying to listen to your fun conversation.
I wonder why they're here.
You mean me?
Never a good sign to see more law around. I
Fucking
just hope
pricks.
They won't interfere with the festival.
At least any more than this flooding already is.
Alright. That was really funny that they both stared at me and I walked away. I was like, hey, how about those out of towners, eh?
Dear. Cute.
Take care.
No, that's cute, Casey.
Yes, the FBI. Welcome to Bright Falls. It's nice to have you here. I got you both some coffee. Oh, it's Washington's finest.
Nice to meet you, Sheriff. I'm set for coffee.
You know, I wouldn't say no to another.
I'm Agent Saga Anderson. This is Agent Alex Casey.
Tim Breaker. And let me just say, I'm happy you two are here. Frankly, we could use the help.
Your deputies said you had a couple of witnesses here.
They made them sound like suspects.
Mulligan and Thornton are still on about that? No, the Bookers don't strike me as the murdering type, but you can decide for yourselves. They're just inside having coffee and pie to calm their nerves.
I'll see what they have to say. Casey, you compare notes with the sheriff.
Take your time. We've looked through the case files you sent over, Sheriff. Have you had many people besides the known victims go missing?
Sure. But it's slowed down ever since Cauldron Lake was fenced off.
Let me guess. Missing person cases spiked around 2010. The fence was built just after.
Yeah. That's exactly right.
Look,
You can go
fellas.
ahead, Anderson. We'll be here.
I know. I like eavesdropping. Alright, if somebody's gonna put all this extra dialogue in the damn game, I want to listen to it.
I'll look around. See you in a bit.
Take your time.
The Founders Park was relocated here as our small town keeps growing. We are sure you'll find this placement for the park every bit as wonderful and relaxing as the previous one. Welcome to the new and improved Founders Park. Huh, that's interesting. The Founders Park was relocated here. I mean, this park was here in the first game.
Tweet,
So it's like,
tweet, my sweets. Now, why'd you go and do that?
oh, I'm
Stomping
sorry.
around like that and scaring the poor little things.
I'm
If
sorry.
not for the birds, I might just go a little nutty.
You seem a little nutty,
A
ma'am.
little cuckoo, if you will.
Actually, you're cool. I'm sorry to fuck up your time with the birds. I didn't mean to. I don't remember her being there, but also I don't know if I went over here when I first played.
The passage of time is deceiving.
The days of our lives are fleeting,
And they end in the end. They end.
You guys are for sure quoting Thomas Zane, the poet. Which, yeah, also, by the way, I think I started talking about him.
How have you been? I hear things are looking up for you.
Oh, thank you. Yes, that's correct. My efforts are being rewarded in abundance.
How lovely. I'm proud of you.
As am I of you.
You guys aren't real or you're in a fucking cult. You're freaking me the fuck out. Not gonna lie to you. But yeah, I don't know if I ever finished my thought, but talking about Thomas Zane is like, I don't know if Thomas Zane is real. Because, like, I think Thomas Zane is real. Because when Alan Wake gets to the Birdfoot cabin, or the Bird Leg cabin, I think it's called, even though it should be Bird Foot, because it's in the shape of a bird foot, not a bird leg. But irregardless, I understand the difference might be lost in translation. But when Alan Wake gets there, there are like a pile of books and poems written by Thomas Zane. And he finds out that Thomas Zane was a part of the... Yeah, I don't know. Like, Thomas Zane essentially solved his problem, where he had the same problem as Alan Wake, by writing himself out of existence. And so, like, Alan Wake brings him back. And by Alan Wake bringing him back, he becomes Thomas Zane. Hence why everyone recognizes Alan Wake as Thomas Zane. Right? You know? Because by Alan Wake bringing him to life, by bringing him back into the story to help him, he thus made Thomas Zane real again, and thus made himself Thomas Zane. That's my theory on it, but I don't know, maybe I'm a little wrong in that assessment, in that kind of analyzation of it. Yeah, are you guys like coffee? Are you part of the coffee cult? You look like you are with your jackets, and you are literally wearing the same thing.
Moon and the sun and the circles they run.
The light of the stars, the sky where they fly.
Down below we flow,
below we flow.
You guys are part of a cult, and you're freaking me the fuck out. But yeah, cool. Alan Wake 2 is a fun game. I'm closing it off. You got anything more to say, Janitor Man? Nope, nada, nothing. Cool. How about you boys? Nope, nada, nothing. Cool. Oh yeah, and then also one little detail I noticed when I was like walking around in between episodes, because I wanted to walk back with Casey, but Casey obviously had already walked over. But there's like a phone going off in here. Or at least there was. Maybe it's gone now. Alrighty. Now I'm going in the diner now. Sorry if you don't like me fucking around and exploring and What's something that rhymes with exploring that's not like shoring? Boring? Yeah, exploring and being boring. There we go. Perfect. Nah. See, it's funny because it's true, and it's also a fun little rhyme.
I can't believe that happened. I still feel like I'm gonna be sick.
Come on, Ed. Have some pie. It'll take your mind off things.
Oh, hey, look. Is that deer photo that's in, you know, gosh darn, Saga's Mind Place. But yeah, fresh donuts, delicious milkshakes.
Can't dwell on it too much.
Hello. Try out our famous pie. $3 for a pie? It's only a slice of pie, though. $5 for a milkshake is quite a bit, but it better be a damn good milkshake. Do not touch. Jukebox is out of order.
This is exactly why I hate small towns.
Keep it down, Ed. You know how touchy these rural types can be.
Oh. Employees only, but yet nonetheless I can wander in here. Ah, the deer.
I feel bad for these guys.
Aw. Yeah, dude, that's what I want to know. If I can come out of the final draft having an idea of what the deer represents, I will be a happy man. Because it's like, it's like, I don't know. It's my first thought is Alan Wake.
To get this open.
But like, say for example, the key thing with Alan Wake is that yeah, I don't know. It's weird because the cult of the tree is like sort of like anti-Alan Wake. They're like, we don't like you, Alan Wake. You're a jerk and you're ruining everything. So therefore, it's like I don't know. Is the deer like representative of not Alan Wake, of like the antithesis? Are they like the average, everyday, ordinary citizens that get caught up in the in Alan Wake's writing in the supernatural events of the story? Maybe. Hey guys.
Excuse me. I'm Agent Saga Anderson. Are you the Bookers?
That's us. I'm Tammy, and he's Ed.
Hello, officer.
Just Saga is fine, Ed.
So, are we being charged with anything? Because if not, we'd love to get back to our hotel and decompress after what we saw. Take a bath, scream into pillows, that kind of thing.
We're not charging you. I just have a few questions. Nothing to stress about, okay? What were you doing at Cauldron Lake last night?
I'm a writer. True crime. We're here from New York, doing some research on a famous novelist, Alan Wake, who went missing here. I was down at the lake, getting some details. Perfectly legal.
So what did you see in the woods?
This naked dude came out of the lake, and he was acting crazy, shouting weird shit at us. He must have been on something.
Unless skinny dipping at dawn is a thing around here.
Then we heard shooting. We ran into these psychos in deer masks. They were tearing into the naked guy with knives, like some kind of satanic cult. And then we bolted and called the cops.
What makes you say it was a cult?
The masks and knives aren't enough.
They were shouting, "Cult of the tree, the cult of the tree, cult of the tree." Oh, and then we found out. The whole thing was terrifying. That's all.
Alright, gonna profile you two.
The cult of the tree. What aren't the Bookers telling me?
I found their necklace. The symbol is 2 triangles.
The cult wants their spruce tree bag, Tammy.
Finders keepers, Ed. My publisher will want this on the cover.
Tammy found something. A necklace belonging to one of the cultists.
Also, like, you could just take a photo of it. Like, you don't need to actually have it. If you're making a book, you don't need to have the physical necklace.
The Bookers were at Cauldron Lake. Why?
The fence was built to hide what's there. They say the rider fell in the lake.
Private party. No trespassing.
My book has questions. Past the bolt cutters.
They broke in for the sake of Tammy's book. Nothing to do with a murder. They were telling the truth.
Yeah, so I find it interesting. That's like the second conclusion where Saga's like, okay, they broke in for the sake of their book. That's like a reasonable, like, honest conclusion to come up with. But then it's like, it doesn't make any sense how she knows that they found like a necklace, you know? Maybe she could put two and two together and figure out that, like, oh, it probably has something to do with the triangles. And I guess maybe from that she can derive that, oh, the only thing that would make sense would be like a necklace. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I guess so, because like it couldn't really be a ring now, could it? But yeah. Interesting that the cult of the tree symbol is two triangles stacked on top of each other. Meanwhile, like, again, I don't know if this is a reference to like any other game, because like, yeah. Also, I think I said earlier that like Remedy made like Quantum Break, and that's where like Tim Breaker is a reference from. Quantum Break is a TV show, and probably inspired by it, but the game they made is actually Remember Me, I think, right? Yeah, I don't know, actually. Hold on, I'm gonna look up Remedy games, because I'm now like a little confuddled on what the games they've made are. No, yeah, it is Quantum Break. Okay, I was not wrong. It came out in 2016? Damn. I didn't realize it was that recent. Man, so what's the thing I'm thinking of then? You know? Like what's the Quantum Leap. I'm thinking of Quantum Leap. That's the TV show. Okay. I think, right? I don't know. I haven't actually seen it. I've just heard about it, but it's like about a guy who like goes back in time or like hops in like different people's bodies in like alternate universes or something. It's pretty crazy. And yeah, okay. And I'm not wrong in thinking that's like, am I able to play this game? No, it's only on Windows and Xbox One. It was yes, it was an Xbox One exclusive? Huh. Apparently it was a sequel to Alan Wake, but then it shifted to time travel. Yeah, because Microsoft wanted a new intellectual property with interactive storytelling. That's kind of funny. But yeah. Apparently, Alan Wake was originally suspected to be vaporware because of the length of time it took to produce and release. That's kind of funny. Oh man. But yeah, dude, I'm so excited for Control 2. Like Control 2, I've never been more hyped for a game. That's a game I'm pre-ordering the fuck out of. That is a game that when it comes out, you can catch me at the fucking midnight release. I will be live streaming that shit, man. Like not for anyone else, purely for me. Like I'm fucking playing the fuck out of Control 2, man. It's like I don't know. I would say probably by comparison the only game I'm more excited for is Control 2. Or fuck. Sorry. I said Control 2, but what I meant to say was The Witcher 4. The Witcher 4 is like a game I'm genuinely hyped up for. And then probably third place is whatever the new Final Fantasy VII game is going to be called. Because it's like... It's Final Fantasy VII Remake, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, right? And then... I don't know what the third one is going to be called, because they already took like the like the other name that would make sense. Hold on, Final Fantasy VII Remake name or something. I'm trying to figure it out, man. Because like what's like what's like the other one with like Final Fantasy 7, like it's got like Zack and the one-winged angel and like a bunch of like other characters, and like I don't know, that's a game I would like maybe be interested in playing, but like basically everything I've heard is like, oh, if you're a fan of like the of like the remake games, then you should not play this game. It's not Before Crisis, and it's not Crisis Core. What's the other one? Uh, hmm. Hold on, I'm confused right now. Because like there's definitely a game with Zack Fair as the main character that like has like the name that I think would dude, Reddit is fucking insane, man. Because I just typed in like Final Fantasy, and the very first thing is what does it say? Tifa Lockhart riding Cloud roughly. I'm not clicking on that. I was looking for the Final Fantasy subreddit. I just typed Final Fantasy in the search bar. It's all censored because it's like not safe for work. But like, it's so weird. It's like looking up anything on Blue Sky, where like where it's like, I forgot what game I looked up, but I was looking up something for like
What do you guys think is up this time around?
Ooh.
I hope it's something juicy.
Wow. But yeah, I forget what I was looking up, but I was like looking up I was looking up like something, like some game on Blue Sky where I was like kind of curious. Oh, I think I was looking up Cyberpunk, because like I saw like a tweet on there that was like not necessarily trashing Cyberpunk, but like it was like, oh, Cyberpunk is like a dog shit game when compared to Disco Elysium. And I would say like I get the sentiment, but I would disagree, because it's like I think Disco Elysium is like one of the best games ever made, but I think Cyberpunk 2077 is a pretty good game. Like I like it quite a bit. But I don't know, because like I saw like only a few people being like, oh, hey, you shouldn't talk shit about Cyberpunk. But then like a lot of people were like, oh man, Cyberpunk sucks. Like a lot of people like were like, oh, the Cyberpunk 2077 has a dog shit storyline. Like the tabletop role playing game, that shit is cool and awesome, but the game, oh, it's fucking awful and terrible and I hate it. Yuck, ew. And I'm like, really? It's like, I know there are people out there who don't like the game, but I'm surprised people were like that negative about it, particularly from like just like a pure story perspective. Because I understand being negative on the game, especially with its rough launch, and like if you're not into the whole open world generic sort of combat and gameplay that you would expect from that. I get not being into it, but like I'm surprised that like people were this harsh on the story. So I was like trying to look it up to see if like if like I could find more opinions about it in like that sort of vein, where it's like people like not liking Cyberpunk specifically for its story. And I mostly found people who were like really fans of Cyberpunk and were like loving Cyberpunk, or were loving Cyberpunk, but you know, in a different way. It was I cannot abbreviate it, you know. I can't say the abbreviation of Cyberpunk, because that would be something that's illegal and terrible and awful. You know, it's like to be fair, that's a classic joke on the Cyberpunk Reddit. Like, Hank, no, Hank, don't abbreviate Cyberpunk. Don't do it. Which, I mean, I don't know. The meme is funny, but like, yeah, it's just say Cyberpunk, man. Yeah, I get it. It's hard to type shit out, but you can type out Cyberpunk for fuck's sake. But yeah, I did see some of the characters from that game just getting railed, you know, and I'm like, you know, hey, maybe some other time that'd be nice to see, but I'm trying to get some deep analytical analysis on the Cyberpunk story, and I want to know why somebody who's like like again, particularly somebody coming from like a left-leaning perspective. Because if you're like somebody who's like, oh, I fucking love capitalism and I hate that there's like the bare minimum critique of capitalism in Cyberpunk, so I fucking hate this franchise. It's like I don't give a shit about your opinion. I don't. You hold no value, and I don't give a fuck. But it's like I wanted to find that, and I could not find it. All I could find were hot characters having hot stuff being done to them, and people just like expressing their love for the game, being like, "Wow, I'm replaying Cyberpunk. It's really great," and "Oh, I just started playing Cyberpunk, and it's really amazing." And like people loving it. I'm like, "Fuck, man! I want Cyberpunk hot takes. That's what I want. I want somebody who is negative on Cyberpunk." Specifically, if not from a overtly leftist perspective, but certainly not from like oh, this game critiques capitalism, therefore it's bad. Like I wanted something more, because it's like, I don't know, man. That's the problem with like Twitter or Blue Sky or like any shit like that. It's why it's why like TikTok is actually like a good social media platform, because for as much shit and bullcrap that is on TikTok, there are people who are having like deep analysis and like having like very good conversations about it. I think one of my favorite people on TikTok was Lucky Lefty, who goes by the Fourth Saluki now. I think on Instagram, at the very least on like on YouTube. I think that's her at. Her at is the Fourth Saluki, and her like actual name on there I think is Lucky, or it might be Lefty. I don't know. Hold on, I can look it up pretty easily. I'm subscribed to her. Oh no. Go to subscriptions, all, and yeah, okay, it's Lucky. Yeah, her name's Lucky. The Fourth Saluki is her at. So if you can't find her by looking up Lucky on YouTube, then you can find it that way. Okay. Wow. Also, do you want to know a fun fact about me? On maybe her like like one of her least viewed videos, like here, I'm going to find out exactly. Yeah, her third least viewed video about animal symbolism in The Last of Us. I actually have the top comment on it with 32 likes. Which is like not impressive by any means, but like I don't know, it like her video was like really great and I really liked it, and I left a comment that that like is complimentary, so it's like, I don't know, maybe you can say I'm fucking ass kissing or something, but then also I'm adding like my own analysis of it, of like, yeah, I think the symbolism in like The Last of Us Part 2 is really interesting, where it's like because of the dual narratives of that game, there's like dual interpretations of like the animal representation, where it's like from Ellie's perspective, she sees the wolves as literal wolves, but then from Abby's perspective, you see them as probably more akin to like killer whales or orcas, So it's like it's like a kind of this dual narrative where it's like, yes, they are violent, but also it's like I don't know, maybe I'm in the wrong here, but orcas are awesome, right? Like we love killer whales here, And again, if you want to have critiques of The Last of Us Part 2, I understand that. Again, from like a leftist perspective, if you're someone who's like, oh, this game's DEI, blah, 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 shut the fuck up. I don't give a shit about your opinion. But if you're like, oh, this game's a really like awful allegory for Palestine and Israel, then I understand your critique and your criticism of the game. I wouldn't say I disagree with it, but I do think it fails. I think it fails being like Israeli propaganda, or however you want to phrase it. But anyway, sorry I went on this really long tangent. But go check out her videos; they're great. But it's really funny, man. That like I left that comment expecting it to like not do well at all, because like it doesn't have any replies or anything. So I thought that like nobody liked my comment. But the thing is that like her video just hasn't done well for whatever reason. Like, it's only at 660 or 657 likes right now, and it's like 5,400 views. But yeah, she posted it 6 months ago, and like it's her third least viewed video on her channel. So it's like, I don't know. I just think it's kind of funny because like I went back to revisit it at some point because I think I was talking about comments and like specifically why I'll leave a comment. Like if I leave a comment, it is either A, to get noticed by like the creator and to show my appreciation for them, or it's to like genuinely add something. It's like I oftentimes don't leave comments, so when I do, it's like I want it to be like a good comment. So it's like when I do leave a good comment and I get like nothing back from it, I'm like real sad about it. I'm like, aw, I like put my heart into that comment, and like apparently nobody appreciates it. But then I went back to revisit it because I was talking about it. I was like, oh yeah, I left this comment and it got like no likes and nobody cared about it. And then I go to discover it's the top comment on the video, you know? Like there's like some decent comments here. Ones that I've liked, but yeah, it's like there are not many comments, so it's like I don't have much competition. There's only 17 comments, but like of those 17 comments, mine has the most likes with 32 likes, you know. A fraction of the likes of the videos, but still, it's like a significant amount, which is surprising. But yeah, anyway, that was all more to say that like, that like, I don't know, she's a great content creator, and like I love her videos. Like she has such a treasure trove of like analyses and like deep dives into various aspects of characters and various like interpretations of media properties that she talks about, you know. Whereas like one video she'll be like, okay, let's talk about like the symbolism of this character and what this means, and it's like, okay, and it's like she has like a lot of these really awesome videos, and it's like they're all really great, but it's like they're like pretty long, like they're longer than a minute at least, so they like can't be posted to YouTube, and it's a damn shame, you know. So yeah. And she's only posted one short. Huh. But yeah, I would recommend going to check her out. If not on YouTube, then Instagram or, you know, wherever else she might post stuff. Yeah, Instagram, TikTok, and Patreon. But yeah, I don't know. She's really great. But like that's the shit I will miss on TikTok. And that's like something I feel is missing from like Twitter or Blue Sky, is that like because it's like you're limited in the amount that you can type, it's like it's much harder to like have a very nuanced, deep analytical thing, where it's like it's much easier to be like, oh, hot take, this thing is fucking garbage and it sucks, and I'm like, okay, hey, listen, you have every right to your opinion, and it's like whether I agree or disagree with it, I want to know why. Tell me why. You know, it's like I want the why. I love understanding and getting deep into things and analyzing things. But like, I need to know why. Why do you think this? Why are you saying this? You know. So yeah. Anyway, sorry about the long tangent. I'm a silly little bitch, and this is what you signed up for when you clicked on my fucking video. So. I'm real sorry about it, and also sorry for the amount of cusses that I say. I don't know, man. I've been swearing since I was like 6 years old. Like, when I was like in the first grade, I like my parents work like pretty late. Like my mom like worked till like 6, and like so did my stepdad. Like they both worked at companies, so like they worked late, so I had to go to like an after school program every day, and like because of that I made friends with like a bunch of the older kids, and like the older kids knew swears, and like the younger kids did too, but it's like we learned it from the older kids. So like ever since I was really young, I like always swore, you know, so it's like a very natural part of my vocabulary. I of course cannot swear if I'm really trying to, but like if I'm just naturally talking and expressing myself like so, I'm gonna fucking swear, because you know it's who I am and it's how I talk, and my apologies for it if you're like, man, I like you a lot, but you swear too much. And to that, I would say, hey, you're perfectly valid in your feelings, and I understand if, like, because of any reason you are uncomfortable or you don't like swearing. My advice to you would be quit being such a fucking pussy. But you know, I'm kidding. I'm joking around. All right. I would actually say quit being such a fucking bitch. No, I'm kidding. All right, stop being a coward. How about that? Huh? Yeah, that's what I mean, and that's how I can express it without swearing. You know, stop being so. What's the term for it? It's not like shy, but like afraid of like people that are different than you. You know. Because, like, actually, yeah, speaking of fucking dog shit on TikTok, I saw something that was like, when you're a southerner and you're talking to a northerner and they use all these fancy words that you don't know, like. And, again, it seems like I'm making fun of southerners, but, like, I was born in Florida and I live in fucking NC, so it's like, I don't know, man. I'm not really, like, a southerner, but I'm from the South of America. Not South America, but the United States of America, southern region of it. But yeah, but it's like, and it's like, to be fair, it's a very funny TikTok where I think it's actually making fun of like British people, where it's like, where it's like, oh, French fries, we call those little Jeremys where I'm from. And it's like, where the fuck are you from? And it's like, that's a funny audio, but then it's like, that's any goddamn dialect, man. That's any, like, regional place. And it's, like, all filled with people, like, being like, actually, this is northerners when they go south. Me, when I moved from the south to the Midwest. Me, some guy who lived on the East Coast, going to the West Coast. It's like, people talk different. Get the fuck over it, pussy. God damn you. I don't know, man. It's like, you're not fucking better because you talk different than someone else. All right? We're all the goddamn same. We're all made of flesh and fucking blood. Atoms in our fucking bodies. That's what we are. We are weirdo, fucking weird, strange creatures that exist purely by chance. Okay? You should not go around thinking you are better because you speak right or correctly. All right? If you fucking genuinely believe that, you're an elitist prick and you should keep your fucking mouth shut. If you genuinely believe that, keep that shit to yourself, brother man, sister person, whoever you may fucking be. All right? Sister woman? Sister woman sounds weird, so I went with sister person. But like brother man is classic. I love a good brother man. But yeah, it's like, it's like, I don't know. Again, it's like, I get it. Like, if you're confused or you're like, that just doesn't sound right, I get it. But if you're like, I speak better than all these people, you're a fucking asshole. You need to stop doing that. You need to rid yourself of your implicit bias. You know? It's like, oh, I talk good and I think good because, yeah, of course you think you do because you do it. You know, if you were born somewhere else and you talked in a different way, if you spoke a different language, you would think that language was the best, and everyone else who spoke differently was not necessarily like worse, but like, you know, that's sort of that's the TikTok. People who are from different places sound worse, and it's like, yeah, man, it's like I don't get it. I mean, I get it. I understand it. But it's like you have to free yourself of that feeling, you know? It's like people pronouncing stuff differently. That doesn't matter. It's like, personally, I like the word either. Because it said either way. Either, whichever way you want to say it, they're both correct. Do whatever is most comfortable for you. Like, I often switch between the two. I use both either and either, because either way, it doesn't matter. Either way you say it, nobody's gonna, like, get mad at you. But it's like, oh, you say tomato. Whoa, hey, you can't say tomato, it's tomato. And it's like, tomato, motherfucker. It's a saying. Potato, potato. Don't be an elitist prick. All right? Anyway, sorry, I felt the need to rant about that. I'm gonna go talk to the Bookers now, and they're gonna correctly call out, how the fuck did you know it was a necklace, Saga?
So you found something there, right? A necklace these cultists may have dropped.
Okay. Wow. How did you put that together?
It's evidence. You need to hand it over.
Told you not to keep that thing to me.
Thanks. This could prove to be helpful. Do me a favor. Stick around town for now in case we have any more questions.
Like we'd even dream of missing Deerfest.
Oh, God. Saga Anderson. As I live and breathe. I thought we'd never see you back here after that awful, awful thing happened to your baby girl. How are you? I'm sorry. Who are you? I don't know what you're talking about. It's me, silly. Rose. You know me.
I don't think I do. And what horrible thing happened to my baby girl?
She drowned. Your daughter. That's so weird you don't remember.
How do you know I have a daughter?
Oh, I know what this is. You're blocking out your traumatic memories. Happens on TV all the time.
No. You're mistaking me for someone else.
If you say so.
You know, I will say, this game doesn't do a very good job at scaring me, but that is like the most horror shit that happens in this game. Like, being told that, like, your daughter is dead by some, like, random stranger you don't know and you've never met, yet they know your name, they know your daughter, and they tell you that your daughter is drowned. And, like, it's especially kind of funny considering that she says, like, your daughter drowned? Where she, like, is almost even questioning it to herself. Where it's like that idea is, like, implanted or is, like, written into her head. I don't know. It's very interesting. Again, this is why I like this game. It's a very fucking interesting game that deserves deeper analyzation rather than, like, oh yeah, here's a game, it's a game, blah 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 blah. It's like it's really good. Like, if you haven't played this game, if you're like, well, I've been thinking about playing this game, but I just don't know, it's fucking worth it. Play it, you know? Like, it's a game so good you can replay it again and it's better the second time because it's like, you know more, so you're able to, like, delve deeper into it, you know? I think that's the mark of a really good story. Like, some stories, they're meant to only be experienced once, and I think that's fine and good, you know? Like, you're meant to go in knowing nothing and expecting nothing, and I think that's fine and fair. But if it's truly great, it should be just as good, if not better, the second time you watch it or play through it.
So, Rose, help me out. How do you think we know each other?
We all know each other around here. It's been a while, but I never forget a face. Or a coffee order.
Guess I just have one of those faces. Seen anything out of the ordinary in town lately? Suspicious people in deer masks?
No one's suspicious. But soon enough, there'll be lots of happy people wearing deer masks for Deerfest. Practically everyone will be wearing one.
Good to know.
Huh, interesting. I thought Saga, like, asked her something about, oh, okay. I thought she asked her something else in addition, with Logan, but I don't know, we'll see here in a second. But yeah, I don't know, this game is really quite good, and, oh shoot, I don't know, I forgot what I was gonna say. It was maybe something involving, like, the replaying of something, or, like, experiencing something again for, like, the second time. Because, like, I don't know, man. I think that's why it's like I like The Last of Us Part 2, is I knew almost everything going into that game. Like, I was spoiled for every single story beat. Like, I watched, like, multiple video essays about it, both, like, negative and critical of the game, and both, like, more on the positive side of the game. And it's like, I don't think it's a perfect game by any means. It does have its flaws, but I think overall it's pretty good. And I think it does what it sets out to do effectively, you know? And it's like, I don't know, I feel oftentimes when people like do critiques of the game, it comes from a very like personal sort of place, you know? It's like here's the thing. I was listening to a podcast which I really like, Something Rotten. And like a big thing for that, like a big criticism they had of The Last of Us Part 2, it's like it's supposed to make you feel bad about enjoying like video game violence, of liking that sort of thing, but it's like it's supposed to be critical of that, but yet nonetheless it's like it's still a fun game. Like you're meant to feel guilty about doing all this violence, but yet it's a fun game. And it's like, you know, it's like I feel like people like you could easily have the same criticism of Hotline Miami. Hotline Miami is a game that is critical of itself and violence in video games and in reality, but yet nonetheless, people don't talk about Hotline Miami like it's preaching to you, but people talk about The Last of Us Part 2 like it's preaching to you. And it's like, I think, and then those games actually share like a literal connection where Hotline Miami is in The Last of Us Part 2. And I think it's really interesting that like, that the like I don't know what it is necessarily. I don't know if it's perception, I don't know if it's just feelings, I don't know if it's vibes based, but like people are more okay with Hotline Miami than they are with like The Last of Us Part 2 in specific being critiques of violence, you know? And like I think that's what makes them interesting, is that like I don't think they would be like as good at critiques of violence as they are if the violence wasn't fun. You know, it's like I think that's something to think about, is that like The Last of Us Part 2 is maybe one of the best games I have played gameplay wise. You know, like it's just so fun to play. It's like they even added like a roguelike mode in the remaster version of the game, and it's a lot of fun. I've spent a lot of time playing that. And it's like I think if the combat sucked, A, it would be kind of a bad game, and B, it would be a bit more shallow than it is, you know? But I don't know, maybe that's just my perception of it. Again, because like I've heard varying like different opinions from different people about it. Where it's just like, oh, this game is so preachy, oh, it's annoying playing a game where violence is like a key part of the gameplay and it's really fun, and yet the game wants you to like think that violence is bad. And it's like, yeah, I think that kind of makes sense, you know? Because it's like, if the game was unfun, if the violence wasn't fun, then like it wouldn't be as good of a critique, you know? Because like I would say probably like the most sobering moments from that game, and like from this game too, is when like your character dies. Like the moments that you see Ellie like get shot in the head, or get her like face eaten off, or like just blasted in the face by like a bloater, or like her skin starts burning, is like they're brutal, and they're meant to be like, oh wow, this is fucked up. And you feel the same way while killing like the enemies, you know? It's like people are like, oh wow, they scream out their friend's name when they die. If you kill somebody, they're like, oh no, Eric, oh god, he's dead. Or it's like, Jessica, no. It's like people act like it's like, oh, it's a bad thing, or it's like shallow, but it's like, I don't know. I think I maybe disagree with people on that, where it's like, I think it adds to the realism of it. And it's like, even though the game is fun, you have to like, when you sit back, you go, it's like, oh yeah, wow, this is fucked up, you know? And it's like, I don't know, I think it's an interesting perspective. It's like, even these people who are doing like bad things, like the enemy people, where it's like, take like The Last of Us 1, where it's like most of the people you kill in the game, like I would say probably about like 90% of them are like all evil bastards. Like they're murderers, and they're like awful people. So it's like you're never meant to be like, oh, I feel bad about killing these people. But it's like, you know, it's like I think it involves a lot more of like circumstance, where it's like, you know, it's like if again, like that's literally what kind of the crux of the story of The Last of Us is, you know, where it's like from one perspective, this guy is a hero and maybe not the best person ever, but he is loved. And then from the other side of the game, this guy's a villain and a terrible person who's done all these awful things and deserves to be punished. And it's like kind of the game is asking you to sit with both of those ideas and like come away from it like with not just the simple take of revenge bad, violence bad. It's a little bit more than that, you know? But like that is like a big theme of it, is that like I don't know. It's like it's not a video game's job, but like take the difference between like GTA 5 and Red Dead Redemption 2. Like in GTA 5, like everybody just sort of accepts their murderers. Like one conversation that stands out to me is that like Franklin like talks about is like, hey, I love killing people as much as the next guy, but it's not like I take any enjoyment out of it. You know, or he's like I'll kill anybody without a second thought, but it's not like I take like pleasure in it or something like that. It's just something. It's a way of life for me, you know. And it's kind of interesting where it's like the GTA 5 never really punishes you for being a bad guy, while it's like Red Dead Redemption 2 on the other hand is like, hey, you're gonna have a bunch of things that stand in your way from being like a wanton, like crazy murderer person, you know. It's like there's all these things pushing you to be a good person, pushing you to try to do your best, and you have to kind of like collide these two ideas of like you the player and your actions, and Arthur Morgan the character and his actions, you know. Because like you can play as good as you want and Arthur Morgan will still do bad things and he will still be a bad man. And it's like you can be as evil and villainous as you like in Red Dead Redemption 2. You can go on murder sprees, you can tie people up, you can kidnap them, you can torture them, you can do all these awful things, but Arthur still cares about the gang. He still has a love for the gang. So even though he's a bad person who does awful things, he still has some things that might not be considered good, but are definitely not outright evil, you know? As like the game's asking you to engage with that, to understand these characters and to empathize with them, you know. And like some people are just like, I refuse. I don't feel like empathizing. I don't want to do it, you know. Because like that was like the thing I did not like seeing with The Last of Us and like kind of critiques or like things of it. It was just like I just don't care about Ellie anymore, you know. It's just like I just don't care about her mission for revenge, and it's like I don't know, man. It's like, that's the whole point. If you don't care, then stop fucking playing the game. How about that? How about that? If you don't care, then don't play the fucking game. You know? Because the game asks you to care. When you play a game, you are signing on to fucking care, to think about it, to engage with it. And if you wish to not do that, then do not play the fucking game. But yeah, I mean, also it's like if you want to engage with the game critically, if you want to be negative about it, that is also fine and fair and valid. But it's like I hate when people are just like I don't even want to play the game anymore, and it's like maybe that's part of the point. Maybe that's like an overall theme, you know, is that even though you want this character to do better, you want them to grow and you want them to rise above their problems, they can't. They are a character set in stone, and there is this push and pull between the character and the player at all times, you know? And so it is on you, the player, to understand the character. It is not on the character or the developers necessarily to understand the player, you know? But I digress. I talk a lot and I say a lot of things, and you can agree or disagree with what I have to say, but if you do, you can disagree with me all the livelong day. I want and need you to tell me why. Like, you can leave a comment that says, you're a fucking idiot, you should eat shit and die, and like, fine, whatever. But if you leave me a comment that's like, hey, I think you have some good points, and I think you have some points I disagree with, and here's why. I will be very interested to read that comment. I want to know. I want to have differing perspectives, and I want to hear the opinions of others, you know, because that's how you understand more. That's how you gain a deeper understanding of something, you know. It's like where something you never would have thought of, somebody else brings up, and you're like, oh my God, that makes so much sense, or oh, I see now. I see how that connects. You know, and it's like that to me is the joy of sharing ideas, of expressing information, you know, or sharing information and expressing ideas, however you want to phrase it. Anyway.
A cult murdering a man is pretty extreme. Why didn't you tell the police what you saw?
We did. We told those two idiot deputies. They didn't listen. And they wanted to throw Ed and I in jail for that murder. You know, Bright Falls is just Alabama with bigger trees.
This is my case now, and no one is throwing you in jail. If you need anything else, just come to me.
Got it. Thank you.
Oh. Aw. See, I like that. It's like, I don't know, it's also like Saga is a very endearing character, you know? And it's like, I don't know, again, I think it's very interesting how she stands in stark contrast with Alan Wake. Where it's like, Alan Wake does have some very endearing shit about him, but there's like other stuff where it's like, Alan Wake, you're a piece of shit, you know? Like, that was something that I thought about while playing the first game, is that like, Alan Wake is like, usually sympathetic, but sometimes he is just like an asshole. Like sometimes he is like a massive prick, and like it's always like alluded to. It's like never like really directly shown, but like the guy has a problem with substance. He suffers from like substance abuse, of like alcohol, of going out for too late, of partying, you know? It's like interesting how that like plays into his character and like how intentional that is, you know? Whereas like Alan Wake is like a novel writer, but he acts more like a fucking rock star, you know? And that's how some writers are, for better and for worse, you know? Whereas like people really connect with them and people really like them, and like the people that really like them are usually like vulnerable people, you know? Because it's like, you know, no offense to you, because I'm the same way. But if you're really into books, it's probably because you don't have a lot of human connections. You don't have a lot of relationships that you care about more than like sitting inside all day and reading, you know? Because when I was a kid, I loved reading. And when I grew up, I loved playing video games and I loved watching TV shows. I love engaging with media because I don't always love engaging with real people, you know? And that's, you know, partly sometimes on me. Sometimes I'm not always the most sociable person around, but then also sometimes other people are the same way, you know? So it's I don't know, again, it's like I think it is good and healthy to like be critical of yourself, be critical of others, but to ultimately go in with this idea of like understanding, of attempting to understand, even if you fail to do so.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't count on it.
Aw, that's kind of cute. But yeah, but also, I just got an email from YouTube where it's like, oh hey, your January month in review is here, and I'm actually very excited to see that new longer shorts are here, and there's more time to get creative and reach a broader audience with shorts up to 3 minutes, which I'm very surprised and pleasantly, I'm like very excited to see that, because like sometimes I'll be making shorts and I'm limited to only like 60 seconds and I'm like, oh, I wish this was just a little bit longer, or I wish I could go on for more. I could make like different stuff. So yeah, I'm glad they're I'm glad they're doing more stuff with shorts, but like it makes sense why, considering TikTok is being banned in the US, so they're like, oh fuck, we got a whole new market we can tap into now, might as well start improving it. But yeah, I'm kind of curious now. How does yeah. Oh. All right, that's kind of cool. Here. let me check something out. All right, I want to find a video of mine that is like over 3 minutes long, and I want to see if I can. Yeah, here I'll click on this one, which is like 2 minutes long, and I will see if I can make it longer than a minute. Because like I like pretty much all my shorts. Yeah, I don't know. I think maybe you can't, because like I love taking my videos and making like shorts out of them, and I don't think you can do 3 minutes yet. But I think, yeah, I think with like stuff you upload, you can make it 3 minutes. So that's cool. Anyway, thanks for watching the third episode. 3 minutes. I don't know, threes. It's all connected.